Hey there, Adam LoDolce from sexyconfidence.com, where I help the 21st century woman create a love life that she absolutely loves. And in this video right now, I'm going to be talking about 3 simple steps that are going to help you overcome social anxiety. Keep watching. Now, you may not know this, but 15 million people in the United States suffer from social anxiety. But I think outside of that 15 million people, all of us at some point struggle with some type of anxiety, whether it's public speaking or whether it's getting in front of people. And those 15 million people are only people who are diagnosed with that. I think there are a lot of people out there who just struggle with certain social situations. And this video is really designed for 95% of people out there who are either suffering from severe social anxiety or those who just deal with it on a regular basis, and I certainly have as well. But of course, this video is not designed to replace any type of recommendations from your doctor, so do not stop taking medication. And for most people, I do believe that there are things that you can do today to start overcoming that social anxiety. A lot of people don't know this, but before I started Sexy Confidence, I actually used to work with men to help them overcome these fears of not only being able to talk to a woman they're attracted to, but also overcome anxiety in other ways. And before I worked with men, I actually used to have some social anxiety myself. I used to be terrified of going up and talking to a woman I was attracted to. I was absolutely, I couldn't even tell you how scared I would be to get on stage and be able to give a presentation. And these 3 things I'm going to be talking about today are the very 3 things that I use to overcome it myself and help thousands of people overcome it over the years. I call it the 3 Ps of overcoming social anxiety. The first one is practice. It might sound simple, but it's really important. Practice talking to people. And more importantly, practice in environments that are pretty easy for you, that feel more comfortable for you, and then kind of work your way up. I had a woman that I once worked with, and on our coaching session, she told me, she started the conversation, she said, "Adam, I have social anxiety." She said, "The other night I was at a bar and there's this guy across the room. He was with his friends and he was super cute." And she said, "My friends, they told me to go up to him and just talk to him, just go do it. But I was terrified. I couldn't have the courage to do it. Adam, why do I have this anxiety?" So I responded by saying, "So you're telling me that because you wouldn't go talk to a complete stranger in a loud, crowded bar, you're suffering from a disorder?" No, absolutely not. You don't want to practice in places like bars because it's really loud and it's really difficult and you're talking to complete strangers. Find easy ways to kind of build your way up to that. Go to places where you're feeling a lot more comfortable. Maybe it's a professional networking event where you know a lot of people there. Maybe it's smaller social gatherings. Maybe it's just striking up conversation with people throughout the day. Maybe it's a cashier that's, where when you pay for your groceries. Find little ways to work your way up to kind of those harder ways of having conversations, such as at a bar. The second P is prepare. Now, back when I first graduated college almost 10 years ago, I had a sales job. And a huge part of the sales job was going to networking events where I had to kind of drum up business. But before that event, any event that I would go to, I would be so nervous. Like I literally felt like there were so many butterflies in my stomach that they were gonna burst out and just fly everywhere and be embarrassed. Like I couldn't tell you how nervous I would get before these. So I remember I went to my brother and I asked him for advice. And he said, "Adam, when you go to networking events, it's really easy. Just prepare with like a conversation starter." And he told me, all you gotta say is go up to people and say, "So, what brings you here today?" And it's a really simple and easy way to start a conversation. What brings you here today? But it alleviated all that really extreme anxiety that I had at that event. And before I knew it, the next event I went to, I was talking to like 10, 12, 15 new people every single night I would go out. And just because I prepared, I had a lot of things to say, I knew what to say, and it just really alleviated a lot of that pain. And the third P is public speaking. I can now say that having spoken now at over 200 universities to over 100,000 students, I can now say that I have very little anxiety when it comes to public speaking. But it definitely has not always been that way. The only way that I got over my fear of public speaking is by doing it a lot and by building myself up to it. And quite frankly, the times that I bombed were the times I learned the most. I remember one time I was booked at a certain school in Minnesota. I'm not going to name which school, but they really set me up for a disaster. They had me come speak in the library during finals where everyone's studying, and they wanted me to give an hour presentation on dating and relationships. So they put me on this stage in the middle of this room where everyone is just studying, and I'm telling you, there's like 500 students throughout the entire library. They mic me up to the entire library, introduce me and say, hey, everybody, put down your laptops, you're gonna listen to this guy. And I had to go on stage and give an hour presentation about dating relationships when all everyone wanted to do was study. To say this was a bomb is an understatement. It was the most painful experience of my life. People are yelling at me to shut up. They're trying to study. They're trying to do their thing. Other people are just offended by what's going on. They're going up to the event coordinator and pointing at me in the background. Everyone starts talking. It is an absolute disaster. Now, most of you might say that this was a failure, and it was. But the reality is that by experiencing so many situations like that over the years of public speaking, I've just gotten really thick skin to it. Now, this doesn't mean you need to go out and do that. I hope that you never have to experience that. But there are ways to be able to get out there and do some public speaking and be able to really overcome some of your social anxiety. If you've never been to a Toastmasters event, check it out, toastmasters.org. We'll leave a link in the description. This is a way that you can be able to get there and practice public speaking on a regular basis. And the better you get at public speaking, the better you'll get in any social situation. So there you have it. There are the 3 P's to overcoming social anxiety: practice, prepare, and public speaking. So I want to ask from you, what do you struggle with the most, and which of these are you going to focus on to really start overcoming your social anxiety? I'd love to hear from you in the comments right there below. And also, if you want to start learning how to develop your confidence, not only in dating, but also socially, go ahead and click right here and you'll join my email list where you get a ton of great free ebooks, resources that are going to help you through every single stage of dating, socializing, and relationships. And on top of that, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like on YouTube, and also don't forget to subscribe on YouTube for more videos just like this every single week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you next week.